evening, viewers. He is controversy's favorite child, but this time Azam Khan has definitely crossed the line. While addressing his party leaders, Azam Khan made a comment that has put him in the long list of politicians who've decided to put their petty politics above the nation. But look at his audacity, viewers. Despite insulting a billion who stand behind our forces, the Mulayam aide has refused to apologize. The question we asked tonight on the Newshour is, who needs foes when leaders like Azam Khan discourage and insult our braves?
It all started with the left.
The statement made by General Rawat is not in consonance with the value system that we operate in our parliamentary democracy, in our army, in our country, in our nation that we have inherited from our civilization.
Then the Congress joined the anti-army chorus.
खराब तब लगता है कि जब हमारे भी थल सेना अध्यक्ष एक सड़क के मतलब गुंडे की तरह अपने बयान देते हैं। पाकिस्तान का दे तो दे, वो तो है ही, उनकी तो फौज में क्या रखा है साहब, वो तो एक माफिया टाइप के लोग हैं।
And now Samajwadi Party's serial offender Azam Khan has joined the anti-army brigade.
हथियारबंद औरतों ने फौज को मारा और लाशों से जो जिस्म का हिस्सा काट कर लेकर गए, वो हिंदुस्तान की एक असल जिंदगी का पर्दा उठाती है, जिस पर पूरे हिंदुस्तान को शर्मिंदा होना चाहिए।
Within minutes, the BJP tearing into Azam's statement, calling for an immediate apology.
Mr. Azam Khan of Samajwadi Party, who is a repeat offender, who has often politicized issues of defense and security, has yet again demeaned the Indian Army and has spoken in a way which has belittled the professional army of India.
While the Samajwadi Party was quick to distance itself from Azam Khan's comment,
ये पार्टी लाइन का बयान नहीं है, ये उनका व्यक्तिगत बयान है, इससे हम सहमत नहीं हैं।
what's worse is that Azam offered a qualified clarification instead of offering an unconditional apology. The trend is dangerous. Now all political parties are using the army to play dirty political games. When will this stop? Bureau Report, Times Now.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
The weather and the rains are playing a bit of a havoc, and we are struggling to get all our guests together on time, but hopefully the ones who are missing right now will be with us soon. Let's say good evening meanwhile to Dr. Soumit Patra, national spokesperson for the BJP, Sushant Sareen, strategic affairs expert, joining us from the national capital, Sunit Chopra, leader for the CPIM, also with us this evening. We're expecting Alimuddin Khan to join us, also Bukkal Nawab, the leader of the SP. We have quite a few questions for him tonight, but before we go across to him, General G.D. Bakshi, I want to start with you, sir. We just played out a series of these comments. It's not just Azam Khan. He's just perhaps the epitome of these netas and the way they use army for their dirty politics. What should we do with these netas, General G.D. Bakshi?
You know, I think there is something called enough is enough. Today, a Rubicon has been crossed. The simple fact is, for 70 years, this armed forces of ours, we've been taking casualties on every border, every line of control, line of actual control. We have been losing our men. We have been having our men losing their limbs, their hands, their feet. Now they started getting beheading. And at the end of it, what do we get? Abuse which keeps getting viler by the day. You know, in other countries, the armed forces are respected. They get a lot of honor because they lay down their lives for the rest of us. What do we get? The level of abuse, the level of revilement is on the rise. And I think today what has happened, it crosses all bounds of decency. Was this man drunk? Is this man on substance abuse? Even the Pakistanis haven't told us, you know, that mutilation was the right thing. When we told them, why have you mutilated our men, they came back with flat denials. They never justified mutilation. This man has not only justified the mutilation of our brave hearts, he's saying that their private parts were cut off because, you know, they are a bunch of serial rapists. I mean, how low can you get? How low can you get? Let me tell you, Mr. Azam Khan, today you have not just abused the Indian army, you have in specific, you know, you have abused our brave hearts like, let me remind you, Company Quartermaster Havaldar Abdul Hamid Param Veer Chakra. Was he not a good Muslim? Was he not a good Indian who laid his life down for this country and this army? Would he not be turning in his grave today when you hurl such abuses on the army that he served? I would like to remind you of Brigadier Usman, Mahavir Chakra. Did he not lay his life down for this army, for this country, for people like you, Mr. Azam Khan? It's a blooming disgrace. We feel diminished that our boys had to bleed for people like him, who also carry the appellation of Indian.
Well,
you have such views,
they're right
pack
to be
your
a
bags
neta.
and go. For
They're
God's
right
sake, go.
to be a Neta, General Bakshi.
Leave us in peace.
They're right to be a Neta, General Bakshi, to lead the people of our country, to serve the people of our country should just be taken away. There is no other solution to this problem. Only then will they realize. When the soldiers stop protecting them, when the soldiers stop treating them like VIPs, only then will people like Azam Khan realize what it is that the soldiers are doing for this country. And usually, our viewers know this, most of our panelists know this, usually Azam Khan doesn't make sense. There is no head or tail to what he's saying, except that he will make these comments which trigger controversies. These are the kind of things he says. Women should stay at home to prevent rape. Bulandshahr gang rape is a political conspiracy to malign the government. There was a rape survivor, Sunil Chopra, who went to him pleading for justice in November 2015. You know what he told her?
I know about it.
If you rake up such a shameful matter, how will you live to face the society? What does his own chief say? The endless comments by Mulayam Singh Yadav on rape. This is the party, this is the mindset. And Azam Khan today is making such comments. Should we just sit and listen, Sunil Chopra?
Why should we sit and listen? There is a government in this country, I hope, which is just coming back from Amsterdam, I think. There is a government, and this whole thing should be inquired into, and the facts established, and then there is a course of law. This is not something for hysteria. Today the main issue should be the presidential election. And here we are listening to Azam Khan, Azam Khan, Azam Khan. What does this mean?
It doesn't matter. Azam Khan, Sunil Chopra is a senior leader of the Samajwadi party. He is an important member of the Samajwadi party. A party that has been in the government, a party that's a very crucial part of the opposition.
Yes, but it's not in
and
government
if his party refuses to take action today,
Yogi ji has said,
if his party refuses to take action today, if you all refuse to stand up and condemn it and demand action against him, then you are all equally guilty. Then you are all giving him the leeway to come and make these comments.
I want an inquiry.
How can inquiry into what?
As you remember, Azam Khan said, I did not say this. Okay, inquire into it.
He's not saying that.
Make the facts public.
He's not saying that.
And take action.
No, he's issued a clarification where he says, I didn't intend. His clarification, Mr. Sunil Chopra, says, I didn't intend to hit the morale of the forces. He's not apologetic. Dr. Samajwadi Patra, he's not apologetic.
Can I please come in? Tanvi, you have to... Can Mr. Prem Chopra be quiet for a while? Mr. Chopra, allow me. Number one...
Why can't you be quiet? You've been bumbling around all the time. It's your government. Take the responsibility.
Well, don't shout so much. Fidel Castro...
Take the responsibility. Don't run away.
Please don't shout. Please don't shout. Let me speak. Number one, Tanvi, there is a design into all this. And why we should be debating this issue is of prime importance.
There's no
Number
design,
one,
it's
only
nonsense.
day before yesterday, Mr. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, and Mr. Trump, the President of America, they sign on the dotted lines of a joint statement which reads that Pakistan should not emanate terrorism from its soil, that we are going to fight tooth and nail against terrorism that comes from Pakistani soil. And what does Azam Khan try to do? Azam Khan tries to give cover protection to Pakistan because he comes out and speaks in favor of those terrorists who come out and mutilate the bodies of the Indian Jawans. He says that, well, yes, these Pakistanis have every right to mutilate the bodies of Indian Jawans and their private parts because these Jawans are rapists. They have been raping the Kashmiri woman, and that's the reason as to why what the Pakistanis are doing is justified. I'm so sorry to state that, in fact, I shudder. I shudder with annoyance when I hear such kind of statement from a mainstream politician. And remember, Azam Khan has been a minister for 10 long years. He is trying to satisfy a constituency of his. Don't shout over here. Don't shout over here, sir. Let me speak. Number one, he is trying to address his constituency. He's trying to divide this country on the lines of Hindus and Muslims. Yeah. And if Azam Khan, you are hearing this debate, let me clear and let me clarify.
What is Hindu and Muslim about here? It is you that who are trying to divide the country on the Hindu or Muslim basis. It is you who said that Hindus are in the government after 800 days. Why? I am not here to endorse Azam Khan. I condemn the Azam Khan statement. It is out of context. But if you talk about Hindu and Muslim, I will ask you that who is dividing the country?
Dr. Rahmani, please give him a minute.
When you say that
Dr. Rahmani, please give him a minute.
there is a Hindu government,
can I request the spokesperson of Samajwadi Party to be quiet?
It's not that
Can I request the spokesperson of Azam Khan to be quiet for a while?
You are responsible. Whole world knows that you are the people who are dividing the country on the communal line.
Look at this man. He's a
You are the
spokesperson
people
for
who are
Azam
dividing the
Khan,
country on the
and he's
communal
so
line.
annoyed if I speak about Azam Khan. If I speak against Azam Khan, if I speak against Pakistan, why is Mr. Rahmani so jittery?
Okay. I request both my panelists, Dr. Rahmani.
Hindu or Muslim?
Dr. Rahmani, both of you are in the Noida studio. I am sitting miles away from both of you.
It is about the army.
Please allow me to moderate this. Allow me to moderate this, Dr. Rahmani. My request to you. Yes, Dr. Patra, just 1 minute. Both of you are in the Noida studio. I am miles away from you. Please don't hijack the debate and leave us all on the side. Dr. Rahmani, I'll come to you. You can rebut. I will come to you. You can rebut. Let him finish his point.
Allow me to
let him finish his point. You can rebut.
Point, and thereafter you can counter me.
Go ahead, Doctor.
My point is, if Mr. Azam Khan feels that he can divide the fabric of this country, I'm sorry. The Muslims of this country don't feel that Azam Khan is their representative. And the beauty of this country is that the Hindus and the Muslims have fought for this country since years altogether. So if Mr. Azam Khan is trying to address a constituency, Mr. Azam Khan, you have failed.
Then why to glorify Azam Khan this way?
Why to glorify?
Glorification of Azam Khan.
Glorification of Azam Khan.
He is issuing a rubbish statement.
This person for Rahmani is a spokesperson of Azam Khan and does not want that Azam Khan should be debated. Why do you want Azam Khan to be debated?
Dr. Rahmani, are you going to defend Azam Khan on this comment?
Can you have
Dr. Rahmani, are you going to defend Azam Khan on this comment? Before you indulge into a political mudslinging match with Samajwadi Patra, are you going to defend Azam Khan here, Dr. Rahmani?
Yes. He's abusing the Indian Army, and he is defending.
You are abusing.
Samit, hold on a minute.
Defending Azam Khan.
I'm just saying
what
that I don't endorse.
Don't endorse Azam Khan. Why should you act as a spokesperson? Are you finding political ground in Azam Khan's party just because you have not found any political party? Why do you want to act as a spokesperson of Azam Khan?
We talk about these kind of debates. We have to analyze each and everything, not just one statement of Azam Khan. I want to quote
Okay, I have some more statements.
My God.
Okay, I have some more statements for you, Dr. Rahmani. Dr. Rahmani, you don't want to sit and analyze one comment of Azam Khan?
I object to Mr.
Dr. Rahmani, you don't want to sit and analyze one comment of Azam Khan? I have some more statements for you.
How dare Mr. Rahmani calls the Indian Army rapist?
Pochpora, you must remember. You must remember Pochpora.
I will have to put the audio down for both of you gentlemen if you don't calm down. Please, a little respect here, a little decorum here. Yadav.
He doesn't know the reality. What has happened in the country, Azam Khan doesn't know.
Dr. Patra, Dr. Rahmani, it's just a half-hour debate. Please, let's not waste time in just yelling at each other without discussing anything constructive here.
Exactly.
Dr. Rahmani, you say it's not just about one comment, or don't make it about one comment. Let's not make it about one comment. Let's speak about the Congress party. Let's speak about Ghulam Nabi Azad, who says that the army chief is inciting the Kashmiri youth. Let's speak about Sandeep Dixit when he says that the army chief is talking like a sadak ka gunda.
Yes.
Let's speak about the left party who comes week after week and insults the army chief. Multiple leaders. Today, Sunil Chopra here can sit and say, let the government take action. Please explain to me, Dr. Rahmani, when politicians struggle for survival, struggle for relevance, why do they turn towards the army to politicize?
Yes, that's what I always objected to. Army must not be used as a political tool. And our politicians day in and day out are using the army as a political tool since last 25 years. What is the AFSPA? AFSPA has been used as a political tool in western borders and in eastern orders. Both the orders, AFSPA has been used as a political tool. And this gives the courage to the politicians to abuse the army. And that is all the instructions of these political bosses, that the army commits whatever they do. What the Yashwant Sinha report has said very recently, that there are the human rights violations committed by the
Indian army violates human rights. I reject your objection. I reject your statement. I reject your statement. You are behaving like an anti-national, Mr. Rahmani, by abusing the Indian army rather than abusing Mr. Azam Khan.
Look, Dr. Rahmani, if you agree with me, Dr. Rahmani, if you agree with me, then I would have expected that you ask questions tonight of the Congress, of the left, of the Samajwadi Party. By the way, viewers, speaking of the Samajwadi Party, the Samajwadi panelists will not be joining us. Mr. Bukal Nawab was supposed to join us. We are still unclear on the reasons. But I am being told right now that the Samajwadi spokesperson has backed out of this debate. So they won't take action, viewers, against Azam Khan. They will give him a free run. This man can go and rant as much as he wants. Communal rant, polarizing rant, insulting our forces. That is all fine for Akhilesh and for Mulayam Singh Yadav. But they will not come here and speak about this issue. They have decided to back off, back out of the debate. So Shan Sareen, this is what politicians do. Yes, General, I'm coming to you next. Just want to bring in Sushant Sareen also in this debate.
I'll speak, but Tanvi, but I just hope Mr. Rahmani and none of the others just interrupt me. I have 4-5 points to make and I'll make them and then they can continue with their rants. My first point is I want to just join a small issue with General Bakshi when he says that people like Havaldar Abdul Hamid and the other martyrs of the Muslim community for this country laid their lives down for people like Azam Khan. I'm afraid he is wrong. They laid lives for the people of this country, not for traitors of this country. I think that is very clear, and people like Mr. Azam Khan don't consider people who won Mahavir Chakras and Paramveer Chakras as heroes. They consider them as villains because they helped this country win wars. So I think we should be very clear on that. Point number 2 is that it is a fact that Azam Khan is a vile and deranged man and he's a serial offender. But I don't think it is just as innocent as what we seem to make it out to be, that he has a proclivity of shooting his mouth off. I think there are 2 or 3 things which are very much at play. One is that Azam Khan has a very unsavory reputation, and there are reports, albeit unconfirmed, of his very nefarious dealings with all sorts of very nefarious elements. So I wouldn't be surprised if the comments he makes are part of a concerted plan to actually defame and bring into disrepute the Indian army and to affect the morale of Indian troops. He does it in a way, and he's done it earlier as well. So that much is very clear, and he's obviously doing it at somebody's direction. It can't be as innocent as that. And for anybody to say that please inquire into this matter, you know, this business which politicians have made, that they say something on camera, when they're caught on camera they say we have either quoted out of context or that, you know, somebody had spliced that thing, is utter nonsense. The fact is he has said it, but having said that, I think it devolves on the government and Mr. Sambit Patra's party to not yell and scream on television, but actually they have a government both in the center as well as in the state, right? They claim to be a very nationalist party. What prevents them from throwing the book at a person like Mr. Azam Khan? But they will not do it. So to that extent, I hold them guilty as well. Point number 4 I want to make another point, which is that a very dangerous trend we have started seeing over the last few years, and this is not just post 2014. There were some indications of this even long before that, from around 2009, 2010, which is that when Kashmir erupted in the early 90s, almost all the Indian Muslim community all over the country, were backing the Indian state and had no truck with any of the Kashmiri terrorists and militants.
Yeah.
Over the last 7-8 years, we see a certain trend where there are people who are developing sympathies for what is happening in Kashmir. We've seen people from Kerala and other parts try and go and make common cause in Kashmir. We've seen Muslim clerics from UP and Bihar go and indulge into all sorts of vituperative propaganda and capture the mosques in Kashmir and indulge in propaganda out there, which is mostly anti-national. And I think Azam Khan's rants today seem to suggest that there is something more to what he was saying.
Absolutely.
Rather than just, a simple off the cuff or shooting his mouth off, which again he's very famous for.
Absolutely.
So I
You've
would
raised an
really
extremely
suggest
crucial
that
point.
a man like him needs to be
You've
taken
raised an
into
extremely
custody,
crucial
given
point.
the treatment and found out what he's up to.
Yes, you've raised an extremely crucial point, Dr. Rahmani. That's the answer to your question of saying, why are you playing it up? We should just ignore it.
And people like Dr. Rahmani, Tanvi, let me just say, people like Dr. Rahmani who say that they are condemning Azam Khan are actually backing him. So Mr. Rahmani should also be ashamed of himself with the kind of positions he's taken. He's always taken these kind of duplicitous positions. On any issue of national importance, he's always taken a duplicitous position. So I have certain suspicions about him as well.
Most of the countries is standing with the Kashmiri people.
No, look at from all your statements, Mr. Rahmani, it suggests to me where your loyalties lie, and I don't think they're lying entirely with India right now.
Most of the country
I don't think your loyalties are entirely with India. Every time there is this kind of a controversy, you always adopt a duplicitous position.
Certainly, several of the netas,
You have never adopted an unequivocal position. You have never adopted an unequivocal position. You are always a duplicitous man.
Add to the problem in Kashmir. So please don't make comments like that. People of the country may be with Kashmir, but several of the netas are not, and Azam Khan is one of them, which is why we are saying, who needs foes, who needs enemies? When you have leaders like Azam Khan, General G.D. Bakshi wanted to make a point, and then we'll go to Samit Patra, who needs to respond to what Sushant said about government taking action. General G.D. Bakshi first, please.
Tanvi, I would agree with Sushant to the extent that there is a concerted attempt to bring the armed forces of the Union into hatred.
Yeah.
That is a crime. It is listed. You cannot bring the armed forces of the Union into hatred by a concerted program designed to demonize, defame, and insult the army. Trying to create the impression, the false impression, that the army is a bunch of rapists on the loose, trying to incite people to have hatred for their own armed forces, which are there to protect them, which have been doing such a yeoman service there. And I was quite pained to hear Mr. Rahmani, I thought was a very balanced person, but I was pained to hear him today defend Mr. Azam Khan's amazingly vituperative statements, which firstly are not founded in fact. There are no female terrorists that we have encountered in J&K as yet. And none of our boys have had their private parts cut off. So you are coming out now with pure fiction. There is no female terrorist, Mr. Rahmani, in Jammu and Kashmir. No soldier. We've had beheadings on the line of control. Their heads were cut off. Nobody cut off anybody's private parts. For God's sake, we should have been outraged If this is what is done to the remains of a martyr, whether Indian or Pakistani or Chinese or whatever,
unfortunately, Samajwadi Party
you are justifying that mutilation.
But I want to know how many times has Azam Khan just in the last 1 year gone and visited families of our martyrs? I really want to know what has Azam Khan done for the families of the soldiers who are in the army today, in the forces today and serving our country. For him to turn around and lecture us and lecture the forces and make these kind of comments. He needs to come out and explain what is it that he has done for this country. But on the other point that Sushant Sareen made, Shambit Patra,
he would have gone and
General Bakshi is also quoting the rule and quoting the law. What's the action that can be taken? The parties are not going to do it, Shambit. Let's be realistic. Congress will distance itself, say it is the personal view of Sandeep Dixit or even Ghulam Nabi Azad or Manish Tiwari, whoever wants to come and make whatever comments they want to about Army Chief or even P. Chidambaram. They'll say it's the individual opinion. So will the left. So will Samajwadi Party. And this will just go on.
Let me answer this. Tanvi, Sushant Sareen made a very pertinent point. In fact, everyone in this country is infuriated. And since I'm a very active person in the social media, people are asking, why isn't the government arresting Azam Khan? Well, what is the pretext of arresting him? I believe the pretext of arresting him would be law of sedition. Now, in law of sedition, the clause is, did he incite any kind of violence? See, what the kinds of Azam Khan want, they want that the government should drag these people to jail. And from jail, they will instigate a Hindu-Muslim riot and create a divide in this country.
What a pretext. What a pretext.
Exactly.
Can I request this
man called Mr. Rahmani
to finish? Dr. Rahmani, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time, so let's not waste time.
Dr.
Rahmani, let's not waste time. Let him finish, sir. Let him finish. My request to you. You are both going to continue for the next debate. We'll take this fight forward on another topic. Hold on, let him finish on this one, please.
Mr. Rahmani, can I please speak? Can I please speak with your due permission? Mr. Rahmani, I'm not accusing you. And you say you are not representing Azam Khan. So why are you infuriated?
Because you are giving a lame excuse.
Mr. Rahmani,
you can arrest Chandrasekhar.
Mr. Rahmani, can I please speak? For God's sake, Mr. Rahmani, please don't paint a bleak picture for yourself. I request you, Mr. Rahmani, allow others to speak also. You are an educated person. Don't behave like this. Number one, Azam Khan and the likes of Azam Khan want to instigate riots, and that's the reason as to why in the days ago Mr. Azam Khan had said that in the Kargil war it was only the Muslims who got the triumph for the Indian army and the Hindus did not fight.
Yes.
It was Azam Khan who, after Buland Shahar rape case, he said that this whole thing was because of politicization.
And who took his idea? Everybody condemned him. Even the courts.
Sir, condemnation is not enough. No, Dr. Rahmani, condemnation is not enough. The Samajwadi Party needs to come out today and say he is not a Neta. He will not be a part of the Samajwadi Party. We need action. Condemning it, distancing yourself. These are not, they don't mean anything. What do they even mean, Dr. Rahmani? Azam Khan is a notorious, controversial leader. He does these things knowingly, consciously, because he wants to politicize and score some brownie points. The idea has to be that we don't let him do that. I'm completely out of time on this debate. I'm going to thank our panelists for joining us on this debate. Viewers, continue telling us what you think should be the action taken against Azam Khan. The hashtag is Azam Insult.